Welcome to lesson 1.4. So today we're kind of switching gears and going into inequalities. So we've learned how to solve multi-step equations, rearrange literal equations, solve equations with fractions. So now we're going to kind of use that to do inequalities. So remember, solving an inequality is the same process as solving an equation, okay? So you're still doing kind of the same ideas as solving an equation. There's just a few different things. The difference is when you multiply or divide by a negative on both sides. So remember, it has to be on both sides. You flip the inequality. Okay, so remember the inequalities are less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You should have learned that kind of last year. So let's do this example. So I have negative 2x plus 5 is less than 15. So we need to figure out, okay, what numbers can x be that make that result work? So what numbers can that make it where the result is less than 15? So I have negative 2x plus 5 is less than 15. So I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. Remember, the goal is still to isolate the variable, so negative 2x is less than 10. And then to get the x by itself, I need to divide by negative 2. And do you notice that I divided by a negative on both sides? Okay, that's when we flip the inequality. So now x is greater than negative 5. Okay, so you just have to pay attention when you multiply and divide by a negative on both sides that you need to flip the inequality. And then we graph the results, so negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 6, negative 7. So because it's greater than, it's going to be an open circle because negative 5 is not included, and since it's greater than, we're going to go to the right. Okay, so remember that from last year, how to graph inequalities. Okay, so now let's open up the foldable. So we have a few different problems. Some are a little bit easier than others, but they're all doable. They're all something that we learned within the past 3 lessons. So negative 5x minus 2 is less than or equal to negative 17. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So then I have negative 5x is less than or equal to negative 15. Then I'm going to divide by negative 5. Oh, look, I divided by a negative. So I'm going to highlight that just to make sure I make emphasis of that. So then x is greater than or equal to 3, because negative 15 divided by negative 5 is positive 3. So 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. So because it's greater than or equal to, we're going to do a closed circle, and then we're going to go to the right because it's greater than. X can be greater than or equal to negative 3. So any number greater than 3 works. And you can also check these the same way we did an equation. So let's pick a number that's greater than 3. So we're going to pick 4. So let's say x is 4. So then I have negative 5 times 4 minus 2 has to be less than or equal to negative 17. Okay, so that's negative 20 minus 2. Negative 20 minus 2 is negative 22. And negative 22 is less than negative 17, so that works. Okay, so that's the way you can check it if you ever need to, if you're unsure of your answer. If you got something like negative 15 is less than or equal to negative 17, that's a false statement, so it's not going to work. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. So 8x plus 14 is greater than 2x plus 28. So we get to choose what we want to move. I want to move the 2x first. That's easier to me. I'm avoiding the negatives as much as possible. So 6x plus 14 is greater than 128. Then I'm going to subtract 14 on both sides. So I have 6x is greater than 114. And then I'm going to divide by 6. And so x is greater than 19. Okay, so remember, you only flip the sign if you divide both sides by a negative. So 19, 20, 21, 18, 17. And so x is greater than 19, so it's going to be an open circle and going to the right. Okay, so then the next one, I have -7 times -4x plus 3 is less than 231. So the first step is to distribute this -7. Now, I am multiplying by a negative, but I'm not doing it on both sides. So I'm not going to flip the sign. It's only when you multiply by both on both sides. Okay, so that's going to be positive 28x minus 21 is less than or equal to 231. Then I'm going to add 21 to both sides. So then I have 28x is less than 252. Then I'm going to divide by 9, and x is less than, or excuse me, I'm not dividing by 9, I'm dividing by 28. My bad. The answer is 9. My bad. Divide by 28. So then x is less than 9. Okay, so on the graph I have 9, 10, 11, 8, 7. So because it's less than, I'm going to do an open circle and go to the left. Okay, so x can be any number less than 9. So it could be 8, 7, 6, 5, -1 million. Any of those will work. 10 will not work because 10 is greater than 9. Okay, and now the last one. So I have 2x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 4x plus 17. So you can decide how you want to solve this. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. So then I have 7 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 17. Then I'm subtracting 17. So then I have -10 is greater than or equal to 2x. And then I'm going to divide by 2. Now, I'm dividing by a positive 2. Just because the 10 is negative does not mean you flip the sign. You only flip the sign when you're multiplying and dividing on both sides. I'm dividing by a positive 2, so the sign does not change. So I have -5 is greater than or equal to x. Now, you can still graph this if you really think about it. -5 is greater than or equal to x, so x has to be less than -5. But if you wanted to rewrite it, you can. You can go x is less than or equal to -5. You just have to literally like flip it completely. So then -5, -4, -3, -6, -7. So because it's less than or equal to, we're going to close the circle because -5 is included in the solution, and we're going to the left. Okay. All right, so that's it throughout the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.